It is far too cold to be showing homes out there. It's only -12, but it's that wind. The wind just cuts right through you. And Supra lockboxes, why with all the technology that you have does it take so long to open up a key box? So we're heading into about day 4 right now of this whole starting thing, and it's going about 50-50, I think. As far as waking up at 4:30 in the morning, yeah, there was a couple mornings where it was a little tougher and didn't quite make it. But it reminds me, years back when I was training to run a faster full marathon, I was working on long, slow distance running training. So for 9 months I had this running schedule. Every morning I got up at 4:30 and I went for a run of a different duration. Every morning when that alarm went off, there was not one morning that alarm sounded and I wanted to get out of bed. Every morning I wanted to stay in that bed. So I made a deal with myself that I was never allowed to not start. I had to at least get out of bed, get dressed, get my shoes on, and start running. And start running and at least get to the end of the road. And if I got to the end of the road and I still didn't feel like running that morning, then I could turn around and go back to bed. And in 9 months, there was only one morning that I turned around and went back. And I was actually fighting a bit of a cold that morning as well. So I'm reverting a little bit back to the beginning of this whole process and starting. And I think this is a beautiful way to be accountable to myself, because I don't know if anybody's watching yet. When I first decided I wanted to be a runner and train to run, I had no idea that I was going to eventually be running full marathons. But in the first while, I was just running short distances, and I thought I would test myself once a week. I measured off a mile on this backcountry road, and every Friday morning I would run this mile, and I'd time myself. And I'd get home and I'd write it down in my little running journal, and every week I would watch my results and see how they got better. But they didn't get better every week. The first 2 weeks went up, and then the third week I was down a little bit. Then the next week I wasn't really that great, but then it went up again. But then the next 2 weeks it was down, but then it went up again. If you drew a straight line, it was going up. But it took 3 weeks to get there, to get a little bit of progress out of it. It's very important not to get discouraged in any kind of process that you're working on and trying to progress into something. But you can't stop. You always have to start, and you have to keep going. If you're walking along the sidewalk and you slip on a little piece of ice, you catch your balance and you keep going. You don't throw yourself into the snowbank and say, oh well, that didn't work. You keep going. You gotta keep going. You're gonna slip, you're gonna catch your balance, and you're gonna keep going, and you're gonna get better. One step at a time. And we're gonna keep building on this as we go. Appreciate you watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join me in this little journey that we're taking. Cheers.